stopping by. If you're watching this as a playback, thank you for doing so. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to give consideration to for consideration for smashing the subscribe button. I was going to say, if you haven't, smash that subscribe button, select the bell option and select the all option so that you are adequately, or let me say instantaneously notified when I'm on a live stream like this, okay? Or when I've uploaded any pre-recorded content. So let's see who is in line. What's going on, people? If you can hear me, you can see me, give us the like button, smash that like button so we can gain traction, all right? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Hello, anointed prayers. Happy Wednesday to you too. TT, what's going on, people? What's going on? What's going on? Are you not watching the match? Nope, not interested in football like that. And that's a funny question. Are you not watching the match? I'm online here. So anyways, let's get on with the show, man. So there's 43 of you online. Smash that like button. So this story came from a gentleman, all right? Slightly older gentleman who lives in the States. He watched my recent live streams and he said, Phrankleen, I want you to share this story with your viewers and hopefully, one or two persons might be able to pick up something. So he said these happened to him back in 2016. So he's still sort of licking his wound financially, if you get what I'm saying. So it was a devastating one. So let's crack on with this. What's up, Lino? Now, like many people, many, when I say many people, many diasporans, you come to the West, you live in the West, might be in the UK, the US, you've been there for donkey years, might be in Germany, wherever you find yourself. Now, like most people, you want to, at some point, after going through the microaggressions, breaking your back and striving really hard, you'd like to invest back home and stuff. And we also must mention that there are some of our folks, this is not nationality specific. There are some black folks that when they leave Africa, they turn their backs on Africa. They want to die in the West. So some of you might even be watching me. Good for you, okay? But, for the most part, we have a lot of Africans who come to the West, who are living in the West. They try to own lands, investment back home, basically make the best of the dual nationality and the fact that, the motherland is back home, which is not a bad idea, right? So these gentlemen, after living in America for donkey years, before he got to that point, he spent he said, Phrankleen, what really prompted me to send you this story was one of my recent ones where I talked about stop playing God and catering to yourself and all them things. So he said he's been playing with the idea, should I send it to him? Should I not? And all that stuff. Anyways, for so many years, he had immigration complexity that he dealt with in the United States. He did all sorts of jobs. He worked as a porter, he worked as a toilet cleaner, he did all sorts of menial jobs. Any job, sometimes he said there was a point in time he had up to 3 different jobs. At home, he could barely sleep 3 hours in his own bed, and even though he was paying for the accommodation for a long time, he slept in a bedroom where he shared the same room with 4 grown men. Times were tough, things were rough. In a bid to save money, you share a bedroom with 4 other men, and everyone's putting their balls on the same toilet seat. And you can imagine, hygiene issues, kitchen, and all sorts of stuff. Forgive me, but you get the picture, right? So anyways, As the years went by, he struggled, he pushed hard. He was able to then, sort of find his feet and all that. Started putting money together. But during those years, whilst he was suffering, he's got like three siblings back home. He's the firstborn, this guy. So you can imagine, and in the so-called African culture, which is prevalent, if you are the firstborn, there is these, it's like there is these automatic demand. There is this truckload of pressure and transferred responsibility on your shoulders. Because you're the firstborn, they expect you to adopt even the responsibility to raise your siblings and pay for their bills, or pay for them to go through university. And there's so much pressure. If you try to have a counter argument, they come back with a rebuttal and say, oh yeah, you're the firstborn. They subject the firstborn to emotional blackmail. But then, having said that, we also realize that when we talk about living in the West, being the firstborn is actually relevant. It's the fact that you're in the West, they're making demands and stuff. But anyway, this gentleman, being the firstborn, has three other siblings, and then I think some other cousins and stuff like that. Over the years, whilst he was struggling in the United States, he spent those years sending money, and doing all sorts for them. So along the line, he lost his dad, and then dad died due to natural causes and being elderly. Then with just mom, and then those siblings, they two of them had women and other kids of their own. This man had been the breadwinner for his siblings, mom, dad when he was alive, and extended family members, right? So eventually, he decided to go into the hotel business, right? If you can hear me, give me the thumb button. Just let me know if you can hear me. Just give me the thumb up on here, please. Can you hear me? Just so I know that the audio is fine. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Somebody type something. Nobody's typing. Ah, great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, thank you. Thank you. So, he then, when he got his green card, he started going home, back home and stuff. So gradually, he procured, a couple of plots of land and all that stuff. And he said he linked up with a childhood friend that they sort of grew up together before he traveled to the States years ago. So the guy sort of gave him an insight into the hotel, hospitality industry, and said, look, man, if you have a nice hotel, you can build this, have this and this, you can make this type of money. So the friend shared some inside scoop with him, inside information, data and all that. So that triggered his thought process, and he started making plans. So eventually he found a good location, he bought land, and then one step after the other, right? And of course, when he started this project, um, you know, when he started this project, virtually everyone was aware, his siblings, mom, and they knew he was building a hotel. So sometimes he would get his younger siblings, go to the site and this and this. And he did say that they fleeced him. They stole a lot of, they would spike up the building material costs. They would get in a unnecessary fight with the engineers, with the architects, when it goes back to the United States. All of these, it was just basically for them to constantly have a means to siphon money. They would go on the building site and just kick off and start trouble with the engineer in charge of the project. And their argument would be, oh, the property belongs to our brother and stuff like that. Don't come between our family. They bullied the man. It got to a point the man had to abandon the project. He begged him, and then eventually the engineer came back. Now, with the help of his friend, gradually, he built the hotel, right? This, and now check this out, yeah. He took Ndolo. I'm going to respond to that at the end of what I'm saying. So he took a loan with Chase Bank in the United States. With the mind, he added the loan to his savings. That if I invest this and I'm able to complete the hotel, blah 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 blah, I'll be able to pay off the loan in no time. This. Now, he finished the hotel. He bought a lot of, the electronics and everything, the TVs and all the things for, installations and stuff. He got them in bulk from China and all that stuff. Eventually, I think he started the project around 2014, right? So at the top end of 2016, he completed the hotel. And the hotel had about 40 rooms, okay? He put a lounge bar, a rooftop bar, a bit of a swimming pool. You can imagine the amount of millions of naira that's gone into that, right? Now, the big mistake, the gentleman did the hotel, he went home, they had an elaborate opening party in a particular December, the hotel went live, and he was in Nigeria for like a month-ish. Everything was running. Guests were coming, the bookings started because he was on ground. Now, he put a manager in there, and then a couple of his family members and staff had a business account. He jumped on the plane, went back to the States, because of course he's got business to handle in the States, right? He's still living in America. And the subsequent 2 months, going to 3 months, it was a bit all right with the take home, the take-ins, the daily take-ins, the weekly take-ins, the monthly take-ins. Things were looking great, were looking promising. As things progressed, issues started, like when he calls, like, what's the hotel like, today, the bookings and all that stuff. And they would tell him stories. Oh, things are quiet. Oh, we didn't get enough customers. Oh, we have this bookings. So they had a storage room where they would get all the drinks supply, all the Hennessy, the Jack Daniels, the bottles of beer, and then the soft drinks and all that stuff. So he would periodically call one of his, I think his siblings and the manager to take stock. So you can see where this is going. But because it's not on ground, problems started. So accountability became really difficult. So most of the time he'd be on the phone yelling and all that. How come this money is not being paid into the account? So 6 months of headache. He jumped on the plane. He went back, abruptly appeared in Nigeria. He found a lot of lapses, right? Suddenly all the POS machines, these are the debit card, the payment machines had broken down. So they talked about, oh, it was network problems. They didn't call the people that were meant to come and service them, the drink supplies. There was a lot of hiccups. So somebody said, no CCTV in the corridors. I'm coming, man. I am coming. He installed CCTVs, right? The CCTVs were intercepted. They would always make excuses. He installed CCTV so that he could remotely access cameras and see the front desk, the corridors, the environment of the hotel, who is at the desk booking. So he could be sat in the States and he could sit down behind a computer or on his mobile phone and he can see the daily runnings of the hotel, you'd expect that to give him smooth sailings. He's got internet connection and all that. They tampered with it. If you're wondering, they tampered with it. So suddenly, one of the worst things that can happen is for you to have CCTV installed somewhere, and then there's a sudden disconnection, and you're miles away. They know you're miles away. So now, suddenly the takings nosedived, right? Money, the accountability hit rock bottom, argument after argument. The siblings, the managers, it's like they were in connivance, right? So that one time that he jumped on the plane, he saw the lapses. He said when he already, some of the rooms were already looking a bit dilapidated. Like, what's going on? The bed covers, the sheets were poorly washed, and who is washing this? He just looked at some of the rooms, and then he could see that things were already falling apart. This is like a hotel that was set up not too long ago. So the frustration took another turn. So he then said he picked one of the staffs. He realized that two of the staffs that he hired himself, two of them had been fired by one of his younger brothers. So he asked them, what gives you the right to sack this person? You didn't tell me. So he then found out there were two replacements. But how can you have people on the payroll and you're collecting salary? That was the beginning of the uncovering of the frauds, right? So they sacked two ladies that he hired directly, right? So they replaced those two ladies with two brand new ladies. But he's got the names of the previous ladies on his spreadsheets because he was paying them salary. And they were collecting money with the names of the previous employees. So he met these two people. Sorry, who are you? What's your name? They introduced themselves. He's never seen them before. He's never heard their names before. So who hired you? How did you get here? Who gave you uniform? And he said, oh, Mr. Such and Such turns out to be one of his brothers. So this was the first major argument. Like, what? You fired two people, but you didn't tell me that they had been replaced. So whilst this man was quizzing these two ladies, there's a set particular amount that he was paying to the hotel staffs, right? They were collecting that amount through payroll from him, but these brand new ladies were getting paid a lot less. So the difference in amount was going to the pocket of the brothers. Do you understand? That's fraud number one, right? So he asked them, he said, who's paying you what? So one of the ladies, of course, she was caught off guard. How much are you getting paid? She told the man, this is the second month I get paid, I get paid X amount of money, right? That led into massive argument. Hotel was already falling apart and all that stuff. Blood pressure is hitting the skies now. Remember, he's got bank loans, got all his investment into this hotel and all that stuff. So eventually he flew back he was in Nigeria at the time for 3 weeks. He had to go back to the States again. So it got to a point, the man said, for months, they would say, oh, we only sold 5 bottles of beer today. I said, how is it possible that the whole hotel, we've got a lounge, you only sold 10 bottles, we only sold this. How about the food? They didn't order much. They only did this and this and this. He lost a lot of money. Everything was run down. So he went home. He discovered like half of the room, over 40 plus rooms, over 40 rooms, right? Half of the rooms, no, about a third of the rooms, not half. The TVs were missing. There were no TVs in the room. There were no TVs. There was faults with the water supply. Now, he said that the borehole unit, like there's a pumping machine that he bought that would pump, water into the tank and supply all the rooms. So he discovered that the brand new pumping machine had been replaced. Basically, the one he bought with millions of naira had been stolen and replaced with an old raggedy one. So he asked for the pumping machine, and then they said, "Oh yeah, it became faulty. They've gone to fix it." Who is fixing it? Put the person on the phone. Where are they? I need to see it. The brother did not disclose, so he lost millions. He lost a lot. They absolutely destroyed everything, stole electronics. They fleeced him. Now, this was what he uncovered, right? Like I gave a similar example the other day. So all the while, the brothers in connivance with the manager, right? They were moving in their own drinks stock. So this man had his own storage room for his own drink supplies and the food supply. So yes, people were lodging into the hotel. They were taking the money. They were not selling his own drinks. They were not selling his own food. They were bringing their own supplies through the back door. So the brothers, they made millions off him. They ran the place down within a short space of time. The hotel became dilapidated. The gate man, the security guards were not paid for like 3 months. So they abandoned the place. They stopped coming. So he came and it was just too much for this gentleman. And he said, "Phrankleen, health-wise, I have underlying health issues, like dealing with blood pressure, right?" So he said, "I have to be careful. I fought, so his friend. Now, here's the thing. He pulled in his friend that helped him to set everything up because the friend is a bigger businessman. It was physically impossible for the friend to help him, manage the hotel. So the friend told him. Meanwhile, the friend had told him from the start that in order for you, because I was going to this, in order for you to enjoy the success that comes with a hotel business, you have got to be on ground. Bang in front of the daily run-ins. And that's right. And this is the case, I think, for a lot of diasporans. People throw monies like this at this type of investment. You still want to hold on to your life in the West, and you're hoping that's a huge blunder. And then to make matters worse, you employ families. And let me just add, this is not unique to family members. Of course, it's worse because you employ family members. Tosin Thompson, thank you for the super chat. Love when you can run features on small businesses. Can you do one materials manufacturing, keep up the good work? I'll look into that. Thank you for the super chat. You see, it's not even purely based on the fact that he's hired family members, right? I mean, employing families, no. But what I'm saying is, even if you have a bunch of outsiders, one, you have a system where it's all cash in hand. You have a card machine, you give access to these, you installed CCTV cameras, they had the audacity to tamper with it. That's a major red flag. I was telling someone the other day, if I were to put that sort of, I decided to go into the hotel business, and I was to put that sort of structure down, a 40 to 45 bedroom hotel. I can't sit in England. I can't sit in the UK. I can't. I've got to be on ground. I'm waking up every morning. I'm at my hotel. Exactly. Thank you, Clara. Even if you employ strangers, if you're not there, you can forget it. Trust me. Hotel business can be remotely managed. I have seen a diasporan owner of a similar hotel in Warri, but you need to pay professionals. I don't doubt that, of course. So if you're going to outsource the management to maybe a company, are they reputable? Do you understand? So if the management services that company is going to provide will be, top notch, then I would like to believe those things will be enshrined in a contractual agreement. There'll be lawyers involved. This is a very serious and weighty agreement in terms of maintenance, cleaning the room, the sheets, making sure things are kept up to standard. So if you, even you, the owner, if you show up randomly without even complaining, you should be able to just check in into your room and be like, ah, lovely, and be able to spend the night without even complaining. So if there is that type of service, then marvelous. But then, that will come at a cost though. That would come at a cost. This happens to so many people. So this brother was this brother was telling me that he hired them because he thought, and this is what I'm saying, it's just basically a use of application of sentiment. Somebody wrote something earlier. Oh, Franklin, this is why. Let me go look for that comment. This is why people don't want to invest in Nigeria. I want to respond to that. I stopped playing God the same day I stopped working 3 jobs. I can comfortably put 2,000 to 2,500 in monthly savings. Well done, 36 hours. Let me see. Franklin, do you see why some people would prefer not to set up a business in Nigeria? If it is not family, strangers fleecing you. If you're not on ground, forget it. What do you think? Yeah, of course. Look, let me also say something. Theft and all these things, like even here in the West, it's just human nature. It's not unique to Nigeria. Let's be clear. Don't think because you live in the UK, what? All those girls and guys, those men and women that work in McDonald's and all those clothing stores and all this stuff, you think they work there because because they are white or because they are British? No. It's because there are systems in place for accountability. There are electronic records, there are databases, there's hierarchy of managerial positions. There are measures, structures that have been built into, the grocery store, the Tesco's and the Sainsbury's and all that. So if somebody fiddles with the cash register, they will know, and they will hand them over to the police straight away. You understand? People still, thank you. You're right, Franklin. I used to work in Primark, and people steal a lot. There's still a lot. A lot of these high street stores, these shoe stores that sell trainers and stuff. Oh, all these young boys and girls that work in all these shoe shops where they sell all these Nikes and Jordan 1s and stuff. Oh, look what you know, they're thieves. A lot of them steal from the stock. They connive and work together. They steal. And some of them go and resell it on eBay or like Facebook Market, or sell it in black market to their mates on the streets. Of course. My point is, it's just part of human nature. So it's up to you now how you handle it. Franklin, this inability to trust your own, be they family or countrymen, whose why foreigners in the country are making management properties for diasporans abroad because locals lack long-term thinking. Of course, it's what they want to steal, eat here and now. They steal, but you can be rest assured the culprit is punished. That's if the culprit is caught. Oh, you think, Maggie Phillips, let me tell you, man, there are so many. Let me shock you. Let me shock you. You can ask other people. Do you know how much an iPhone is? I'm streaming with my iPhone now, right? This is an iPhone here. Now, if you have an iPhone 13, like let's say the iPhone Pro 13 Pro Max, the top level, do you know like those phones are like £1,000 plus? Imagine that in the hands of an average person. Most people that get these phones, yeah, of course. Can your company manage Airbnb once it has been set up? Of course. It can be. It can. We can help you manage Airbnb, of course. Now, if you have an iPhone, like I was saying, sorry, um, if you don't have, yeah, in Lagos, you can send me an email. We can talk about it. If you don't have an insurance or something, right, and it's like 1,000 plus phone, yeah. If you go report to the police, I'm trying to make a point here. Go and do your findings. I'm talking here in the UK. If you go and report to the police, yeah. Oh, so somebody snatched my phone. I was going to Peckham. Oh, I was on the road. I was blah 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 in the city centre of Manchester. Most of those cases, the police wouldn't put resources behind it to catch the perpetrator. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, there are plenty of cases like that, man. Because they just look at it. Oh, do you have insurance? Once, or if you tell them you got insurance, the police know you got insurance. They'll just coast you and push you on a slippery slope like they investigate. There are plenty of cases like that. Or they would just play lazy and they will push you aside. There's a case of a lady that told me that she got mugged, and yeah, it's not worth their time and resources. Thank you, Clara. There was a Nigerian lady that told me the other day she got mugged somewhere in Wembley, right? She had a bank card, a wallet. She had cash in the bag, an iPhone, a passport. Very important things, yeah? The guy punched her from the back. She was coming out of the train station. There's CCTV everywhere. The police, when they came, oh, you all right? They gave her a blanket because it's bang in the middle of winter, right? They even got her a cup of tea. They took a few statements from people around. They checked the camera in the train station. They gave her a ride home, which home is not too far from the train station, and all that. They took witness statements. After 2-3 times of contacting her, we're investigating. Have you cancelled all your bank cards and credit cards? Is any cash missing in your... Oh, the moment this lady, she said, I told them that, oh, I've got this contents sort of insurance that protects this. She was able to claim a new mobile phone and stuff. Police, whoosh, are up till now. This happened last July. Up till now, police have done nothing about it. She has complained, she has this, they just stopped responding. I'm just trying to let you know. So, sometimes black folks think everything is cut and dry, everything is perfect. No. They're not bothered, man. Do you know that people, even with severe matters, they have to even threaten legal action against the police sometimes for the police to do their jobs properly? Anyway, let's not go in that direction. Phrankleen, you're right on every point. Family stole 350, whoa, let me read that. 350-ton trucks and trailers from me in Botswana, plus 150K US dollar capital. Now mom wants 2 houses from me. Are you winding me up? That reminds me, I went to a T-Mobile store and the rep at the store did say that a guy has come in several times to steal phones. For some reason, police know who the guy is but won't arrest him. Oh, are you? Yeah, SNS Hair Beauty. They write you a reference number. They haven't got time. Insurance will cover it one time. It's been like that since back in the day. The police can't be bothered about low crimes like that. Of course. There was there was one where a man said some guy slapped him in was it Peckham? This was in 2015 or something. He was on the phone talking to his wife. Somebody slapped him on Mugbaron for that thing. And then they jacked his phone. He was talking to his wife. He was going home from work. He was walking and they slapped him and snatched his iPhone. And he said he would never forget, when the police turned up and stuff, the man's cheek was swollen because they hit him hard. The police officer was like, oh, thank God that you're not bleeding. It should be if you get home and tell your missus and she helps you press it down a little bit. And the man said he told the officer that I would like to go to the hospital. He goes, I don't think it'll be fair on the NHS. Did you hear what I said? Unfortunately, the police officer had his body worn camera switched off, so there's no evidence to be able to use against the officer. The man said he just opened his mouth like, even his wife at home, it's not funny, but his wife just couldn't stop laughing. The officer said, well, thank God you're not bleeding. Yeah, get your missus. Women are very good with, and stuff like that. And I'm sure the missus will, and you eat some jollof rice. He was trying to be funny. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? The man said till date, they've done nothing about it. You're shooting. Difference between family and relatives. Business is business. Sometimes we have to learn the hard way. Yeah. So here's the thing. Back to the matter at hand, right? Can I just say respectfully, and you see, and I know, there's a lot of smart individuals watching this, right? Stop hiring family. Stop. If you choose to help a family member, help them from a distance. Because, okay, check this out. I have a younger brother, right? If I have a business and I employ my younger brother, Mark Bada, if he blow for you, because if he does something unscrupulous, bro, I'm going to go hard. Like, go heavy on him. And then sentiment's going to kick in. Oh, the parents are going to be like, you're going to lock him up. Oh, please, family members are going to be like, oh, he's locked up his younger brother. Oh, wow, just because he stole 2 million naira. Can you imagine? Your mom is going to be like, hey, don't do it. Padano, ko tera elorun. Oh, kill him and show me how strong you are. Okun ọmọ ìyá kọ́. Okun yẹn máa gbin náà ni. But if it was someone that went through proper recruitment process that I hired and they've done something unscrupulous, have stolen money, I can go heavy on them, man. I smash them with the aid of the authorities, man, and hopefully recoup and make sure they face the axe coming down on them by the law. You dig? And the sense of entitlement, vindictiveness. You hire family members, the sense of entitlement. I remember a lady in a previous email told me that, Phrankleen, the first business that I set up, it was a clothing store somewhere in Lagos. She said it was doing well. She said, I hired one of my cousins and one of my aunties because she's always asking me for money. And I thought, okay, look after the business for me. Said everything was going good until she was meant to take stock. She was meant to take stock and she didn't take stock. She was meant to pay some people. She didn't pay them. So this lady said, she lashed out and said, why didn't you do this? We were meant to get supplies. You should have paid the suppliers. And then the woman just turned around. How dare you? I was there when they give birth to you. Do you see what I'm saying? So things got really explosive. Then her children piled on the argument. How dare you talk to her mom like that? Is it because you got a bit of coins in your back pocket? And then there was a major face-off. They were threatening her with physical violence. It nearly broke the family. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why you don't hire them. And eventually, they ended up stealing from her. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you don't hire them. Yeah, either that or they go diabolical on you. You're right, Clara. 100%. I'm a test labor straight ni. I'm a consare fair ni powder and sin. Lagbaja twerk kelebe. No, Franklin, I'm not winding you up. My brother stole 3 trucks, heavy tippers for transporting mining outputs business. Trucks purchases in cash and also gave him 150K US dollars in cash, all gone. Wow. Bro, if I need to pay 150,000 US dollars for an equipment, bro, I'd have been on ground. My G. You follow my pioneer down, 150K. Oh my goodness. All the drama that comes with hiring family is not worth it. Absolutely. So like this man, he told me, he said, Franklin, I'm still paying the debt to Chase Bank in America. Yes now, only if I care. If the one jam lole, if I do my spider no. Èṣù láàlú ògiri òkò. I'll take you to Ifa. Láàlú ògiri òkò. Ma muna fún ẹjọ́ ìṣeré ni. You follow my spider no. You want to eat your cake and have it? Hell no. Are you a football fan? No, I'm not. I used to be, but nah. I bet. You understand? So that's his story pretty much. And the brother said he's still trapped in debt. He's an older gentleman, you know, he's basically so yeah. He had to sell off. So because he was caught up in debt and everything went side, so he ended up selling I think the hotel to another company. It was like a distress sale. He fell out with his friend because his friend told him that I told you to do X, Y, Z. So they had, you know, dudes, right? He fell out with his friend for a bit. They're back together now. But he ended up selling. Yeah, he said he ended up selling the building, but it was a distress sale. He had to recover some debts. There's so many debts on his neck, but he has paid a chunk of the debt to the bank. So there's like a little bit more that he's still servicing. And he said by the end of 2022, it should be done and dusted. You understand? Again, the hotel business, if done properly, if you're in a good sports, your services are great, it's a fantastic business. Like somebody was saying earlier about Airbnb, all these shotlets, it's beautiful. It's a brilliant business. But you can't have all these things with truckload of investment in them and then you sit miles away. If you are able to put a system in place, one, cashless, it has to be a rock solid accountability structure. You understand? If you can't put, time wasted. Thank you, Lionel. If you can't put that structure in place, there's no point. There are a handful of people out there. Like, I know these, what's this woman's name? Her name's gone off my head for a moment now. That came to tell us about Mrs. Adeoti, about the poultry business and stuff, right? She manages her poultry business sort of remotely here from the UK and stuff. She's put a structure in place, herself and the husband. And I remember when she came on my platform and shared that wonderful knowledge about poultry, business with us. She said it was going well for her. The video is on my channel under the business investment playlist. Go and watch it about the, poultry business and stuff. She told us that, some people are able to, but if you can't put a structure in place, okay, if you have a justification to still remain in the West, but if you know that you don't have a rock solid measure in place to protect your resources, your investment, don't do it. Families are the worst, man. But like I said, this problem is not unique to families. Like somebody rightly said earlier, if you put something in place and it's just outsiders and they know that you're not there, they'll connive. Like I was trying to say earlier, in the hotel industry, that's very, very common. Even I discovered this when I was in Nigeria last year for that my lengthy stay. I discovered when when people have all these hotels and all that stuff, the staffs will connive. So if you're selling your bottle of beer for maybe um 800 naira or whatever, however much you're selling them, they will bring their own supplies. So if I'm in room 96 and I say, can I have 2 bottles of trophy, please? Trophy beer, right? So the trophy turns up. How do I know? I'm just gonna pay them and drink. They are selling me, they are basically selling me their own products. If you understand what I'm saying. So your own stock will sit in the storage room collecting dust. And that's your investment just sat there. I know I'm testing the remaining 3 in the next 6-7 months, and I'll kick them out if they misbehave. I actually eliminated my dad in the first scenario. Michael. Unfortunately, doing business with family can really wreck you. Even if you are on ground, folks always find a way of cheating you. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Olamide. Families and money and business is a big problem. Eric Powell, thank you, brother. Peace, brother. Keep up the good work. Families and money and business is a big problem. I can remember sending money to my family to open an account for me. Up till now, the money and account, the money and account is void. I want to know you gotta be. It's not limited to those living abroad. Yes, I agree, Sally. Even those of us back home suffer from relatives who think it's their right to live off you. It's a terrible culture. Sally does. Thank you for saying that. Of course, I'm only saying this because I'm a diasporan, and the stories I'm sharing, is just coming from the point of view of diasporans who have done X, Y, Z. You are right. Even those on ground. Ordinarily, somebody who is living in Ibadan, if you move to Lagos and you're living in Lagos, you're living in Ikeja now, you're working for GT Bank in Lagos, you got a bit of money in your back pocket. If you come and see your families in Ibadan, it's like you've traveled out. Or you move to Abuja and then you go to Ogun State to see them. It's like you've come from abroad, Man, Nigeria. It is please, can you sign a legally binding document with them stating, my own father told me to do so. It's the business between himself and I in case of, yeah. So yeah, that's the case, man. He failed by not, let me read this, by not setting up a contract with a commodity supplier for ingredients and drinks who will wire the funds to and let them, if anyone tries to stop deliveries, should notify him. I have a brother who is an adult, always comes to me for me in the name of last born. So yeah, man. A woman said she was also it was a hair product. So she was trying to run these let me see. She was trying to run this hair product, some kind of hair product business, and she sent money to her siblings to build like a small factory place where they will be processing the product. And she sat in New Jersey. They blew the money, man. Till date, no amount has been seen. She got one of them arrested. It was the police that was pleading on her. Oh, man. Let me read. Hi, Phrankleen. I'm curious to know how your family members are acting towards you when it comes to your acceptance of Ifa. I hope they do not try to bind you with the blood of Jesus, of white Jesus. It's interesting that you mentioned that. And there's a prevalent, narcissistic culture. I'll respond to that. Thank you for that question. There is a prevalent narcissistic culture in our society. So when People see you that you gravitate towards Ifa, like you said, and all that, particularly the religious nut jobs. They take it upon themselves to want to dictate your pathway and want to force you to go to church or and try to, I'm an adult. I've made my choice. I'm not harming anybody. I'm not infringing on anyone's fundamental human rights. They do all the emotional blackmail. And do you know the funniest part? Do you know the funniest part? You want to know the funniest part? A bunch of these people have at one point or even currently benefiting from the potency of African spirituality. But you will find them in the front seats of your respective churches and mosques. I kid you not. In fact, they've been into these pathway long before I even thought of discovering Ifa. Do you understand me? There are plenty. Some of them are even your parents. You might know your mom as a deaconess. Oh, my dad is a pastor. If you walk in now, he's shouting, Jesus, blood of Jesus. Nope. Behind closed doors, they practice African spirituality. But because the societal mental conditioning, everything that's emanated from Africa, we have been conditioned to see it as demonic, what belongs to us. So you're being conditioned to hide it. You must not be seen fronting it. Do you understand? So it's like it's the norm. So when you come out openly like I do, they would do everything to label you as, dude, are you normal? Like, what? Why are you? So that do you get what I'm saying? It's just hypocrisy. Not too long ago, I sat with a friend's parent in Nigeria. I was in their living room. So we're talking. And one thing led to another in the course of the conversation. They are like the usual type, Christians and all that stuff. And I just sat there with my wife and I said, we're proud practitioners of Isheshe, which is Ifa. And they felt the need to let us know that, oh, we've been doing this for donkey years. Oh, our bloodline, we venerate this Orisha. We do this. Yeah, you've got to be mentally strong and fortified. Walk in your truth. If you want to practice Ifa, for example, and the moment you are concerned about, oh, what would people say? Let me just cut the chase, yeah? Anyone that's around you that want to label you as, oh, this guy is diabolical, oh, this guy is this, and they were not your friends to start with. They were not good people to start with. Just let them be. Don't fight them. Let them be. Walk in your truth. So I have family members, I don't care. I'd be tough. There are plenty of people in this way of life, but they hide it. That's the difference. They hide it. So when you sit in front of some of these older ones in our society, they're listening to you, they're talking blood of Jesus and all that. Nah. They know the potency. Do you know what's funny? There are so many people that you find them in church on Sunday, right? You find them, they're the ones praying. Now, if there is immediate threat to their, let's say their employment, there's immediate threat to their daily bread at work, like there's a conspiracy to get them sacked, they know who to call. They know what to press on their speed dial. They're not going to wait for some pastor to say you need to fast for 7 days. Somebody is conspiring against you at work. There's a threat that the HR might ask you to go home pending the outcome of blah, blah, blah investigation. This is your daily bread about to go. Ifa they will thank you. They will run to Babalawo, custodians of the secrets of the universe. Because why? If they divine divination right here, right now, if I would tell you, Even if you are at fault, if I would tell you what to do here and now, fact. But let's leave that for another day. Somebody's another panel. It's because the black people are successful. They say, da, 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 da. Hello, Phrankleen. Can you do a show in African spirituality? I need more information. Yeah, I will do. People have asked me. I will do. I'm going to see some of the comments. Yeah. Nagreen, thank you for the super chat. What kind of structure can you put in place to mitigate against this risk? Someone, look, man, if you're willing to set up a business back home, and you're not going to be on ground, we've got to be factual, man. We've got to be very, very factual. The risk is very high. And if you're going to set something up, one, it's cashless. So, for example, if you're going to have like Airbnb and Airbnb, shotlets, apartments, things like that, they're all done online. So it's actually possible. I know people who are in the diaspora that they got apartments, they got buildings in Nigeria, and they can sit here and they're on their laptops, on their mobile phone. There is somebody in Birmingham in the UK has booked to stay in their bungalow for the next 2 weeks. They confirm the booking. So there is somebody on ground who's going to get the house ready, there's a guard who has been employed to be in the premises 24/7, things like that, because it's cashless. So you are in charge of the cash, so those type of business is doable. You can sit in Singapore and run apartments in Nigeria. Things like that, they are doable. Once you have a rock solid structure in place, then you're fine. But then that doesn't apply to all kinds of business. There are certain businesses, for example, if you're going to go into agriculture, farming, and things like that, you got to be on ground, fam. Get the likes up, man. Hit the like button. 582, hit the like button. We're waiting for you to do a show on African spirituality. Yeah, I'm going to talk about my Ifa Johnny, my initiation and stuff. I'll do that, I promise. Eric, let me see your question about Phrankleen. How do we deal with family members that cheat us? Take their balls to the authorities, man, and cut the balls off. I'm joking. Let me look for Eric's comment. I've been adamant that I'm not normal, my family for years and put in the work for trying. Africans is the only altar of justice for Africans. That's the only place where real justice can be sought. The courts will convict an innocent man, throw him in jail, but if I want, of course. Eric, I'm looking for your comment. Trying to go up. I said, my family alone, within the community, people help to I can't find it, Eric. You're gonna have to type it again, man. Sorry, I can't find it. There's been loads of comments. Forgive me. This must be a cultural thing endemic within Nigerians in the circle. Families. Well, it's not unique. It's not unique to Nigeria. Let's be clear. It's actually prevalent across Africa. Look at that brother earlier that talked about $150K. He's not Nigerian, is he? But it's just like maybe you find a lot of Nigerian stories because, of course, I have a lot of Nigerian eyeballs watching me. I'm a Nigerian, so a lot more Nigerian stories. I occasionally get like a Ghanaian individual. It just, your own people will sort of gravitate towards you, a lot more. That makes sense. You dig? But it's not unique to Nigeria. Are you a white cap chief? What does that mean? Pastor once told me that Alada Lumari Onowo. Alada Lumari Onowo Babe. If you can prosecute them publicly, sure, people will try to shame you, but it will leave knowing who is truly your family and does helping mom and dad family matters. Who is truly your families? Everyone's got families, man. I always say, man, this is not saying, don't. Roxy said we experience the same with relatives in the Caribbean. So help families. Help families within reasonable parameters. Don't help families at your own detriment. It's a display of foolishness. The same family will call you stupid when you are broke, you are down and out. Fact. Do you understand? It makes no sense that you live in England and you live in England or you live in the US or Germany or Australia for donkey years and you are playing God, you're sending money, the little that you have, to mommy and daddy back home, brothers, religiously on a monthly basis, and you have nothing to show for your human existence. You have a problem. You're doing so at your detriment. Stop in your tracks for a moment. So what is it? What is it? What is your end goal? You love suffering? You love it. You are in full, bonding with suffering. It's madness. It's absolute madness. That's what we're talking about, man. I've seen people take overtime. I've seen people go into credit card debts to please families. I've seen people take, like this story. You took bank loan, you add it to your own savings, and you built. The hotel business is not a bad idea. The execution is the problem. You allowed sentiments. Do you understand? I hope I'm making sense. It's sad that after all this, we still don't learn. They have no idea how hard things are here in Canada. When you say no, they get mad at you. Look, yeah, Jabrila, what's up? You're not ready to do business if you're not ready to be on ground. Trust me. And you see right there, that's where the problem lies. I think again, it's the mental conditioning. The average black person, they are thinking, oh, I would love to do X, Y, Z in Africa. But they still want to hold on to the West. It's the brain. If I decide to build a hotel or a block of apartments to use for shortlets and all that, bro, goodbye, England. Why would I? Nah, except if, like I said, there's a solid measure in place. Maybe I've got other businesses here and there's a solid structure in place whereby it's cashless and I can really and truly 100% be able to keep tabs on the daily runnings. And once in a while when I travel, when I'm on ground, I have a look, we do the repairs, painting and all that stuff. Things are fine, jobs are good, and then of course. But for the most part, you gotta be on ground. If anything, we should be buying and renting in the West and then living in the continent on ground with the business. These days, they get triggered when you tell them it's difficult over here. They ask why you're still there. Some even don't even put yourself in a position where you are constantly having to justify and prove. I'm at a point in my life, amen, I have 50 pounds to give you. You don't want the 50 pounds? You want to keep yapping away? I'm going to take my 50 quid, put it in my pocket. Simple. Yeah, if you want to build your business in the Ray, if you want to build your business in the West, that's up to you. Can't nobody stop you. When I wanted to do business, I was told you can't do business in Malawi out of a briefcase. It's necessary to have 10 toes on the ground. It's the same thing across Africa. To really have a successful business in Africa, you need to be on ground. You can't eat your cake and have it. Bro. I have been on site. Let me tell you this. I'm on a building site. I'm managing a building project. Did you hear what I said? I'm on site. At the end of a particular day, I'm having a conversation with a bricklayer. Tomorrow, when you show up, we're getting X number of bricks, delivery, for this ongoing project that I'm managing for someone. We're going to do this. You're going to work in that area, blah, 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 blah. He was having a shower, at the end of the day, just rinsing himself and changing his clothing. We walked to the junction of the road. He got on the bike. He's an older gentleman. He bidded me good night. Now, what happened that particular day? Because he was due some payments. So maybe you can learn from this. This is some of the challenges when you're dealing with artisans. Just to give you a bit of a snippet. He had X amount of money that he was due for that particular phase of the building project, yeah? So I could have what I should have done was I should have broken that money into 3 parts. Give him a chunk. When the project has progressed to an extent, a bit of a mini milestone, give him another payment. The work is still ongoing. So what did I do? I generously credited his bank account with a whole sum, because I trusted that he was going to do the job anyway. That's not how you do business. So I just put the money in his bank account. Boom. I said, all right, all right, good night. The rest of the other bricklayers, about 6 of them and stuff, I even paid for their bike ride, just out of that. It's nothing from my pocket, yeah? Good night, good night. The next morning, I wake up, I got dressed, put on my cap, my side boots, I got to the site around about 10 o'clock in the morning. And there's nobody here. Whilst I was there, fortunately, we took delivery of sharp sand. And I'm looking around like, what the hell? So I picked my phone. I called him. Because normally they should have been on site like by 7:30 or 8 o'clock, yeah? Yeah, of course. Basic project management. You're right, Eric. Thank you for the super, Oh, yeah, of course, that was my fault. And don't get me wrong. I know this, or I knew this. I know this already. But I got carried away. I was just, did the Mr. Nice Guy, which was a very foolish move. I transferred the money to him. Guess what? He didn't show up. The phone rang. Hello? Baba, where are you? Yeah. Yeah. So on my side, because he lives in another side of the city, right? Yeah, it was raining heavily this morning. So yeah, when I woke up, yeah. What? What rain? But you didn't tell me that you're not coming. There's no rain on site. This. So what about the other 6, 7? Now check this. This was a Thursday. The next day, no, sorry, it was on a Thursday it was on a Wednesday that I paid him. It was meant to show up on a Thursday. So he didn't show up, yeah? And he then said, sorry, blah, 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 blah. It was raining. It was raining. You know what he did? He said, Monday. Let's meet on Monday. I'm sorry. Bro, yeah, I can't hear you, bro. Boom, cuts the phone. God damn. I was so enraged. I mean, not all my fault. If you take an inventory of everything, look at everything what has happened. I played into his hands and never again. So I'm just giving you an insight into how you deal with. So imagine I'm sat in the UK and I'm dealing with that type of a man on the phone. I'm not on ground. Do you understand? So I lost Thursday, I lost Friday, I lost Saturday. He's got a chunk of money in his back pocket now. So he misbehaved. And then he came on Monday. I didn't say nothing because if I got really explosive, I might just go off tangent and say things that I would later regret. But he could see the rage in my face though. So I spoke to a friend's mom that recommended him, and she said, you recognize your fault, said, but don't ever make that mistake with these artisans. Give them the amount that they are due at every milestone. Don't be overly generous because they would take advantage of you. So I'm just sharing this. And this is face to face. I'm on ground. I'm sat in the sun. I'm managing. If you give me your project to manage, I'm on ground. I don't play. I'm at the forefront of all the deliveries. They didn't even like it. They tried to connive. I would destroy their connivance. Every building materials being supplied, I'm eagle-eyed about it. The bags of cement, I'm chasing up everything. You have to be meticulous, man. They don't like it because they will look for ways to unscrupulously make money. The guy that's supplying the sand will know the guy getting the blocks. They will try ways to connive and, but bro, I gave them hell. So we moved away from that phase, and yeah, that was that. You understand? So I'm just giving you that's the bit of that story. Imagine if I'm sat here in the UK and I'm talking to a bricklayer, artisans on ground in Nigeria. That's a bloody lie. But guess what? Guess what? In terms of skill set, the bricklayer is bloody good. Do you see? But they have criminality in their bloodstream. In terms of the brickwork, woo, the man is good. He's bloody experienced. His work is razor sharp. He delivers. But skill set aside, when it comes to being dubious, they take the cake. They have that criminality in their blood. You can't take it away. So you've got to be steps ahead, man. You understand? He's very good. His brickwork is so neat. He works with precision, pays attention to detail. Marvelous. But if you turn your back for a moment and they wink at the guy that's trying to sell you cement, they will fleece you. It's in their freaking bloods. How much more you have families involved in that type of project management, or you are here in the UK or in the US and you are telling your brother to go and manage that project, go and get the granite delivered. Forget about it, man. You've just failed. You failed woefully. You understand? So I had bitter experience building my first building project. Even my own blood brother has not spoken to me for 2 years now. Even when I call me, he will not pick. Now they're all fighting my wife. Yeah. Usually when families cannot steal from the man or siphon the man, the wife becomes the number one prime enemy. They always target the woman because according to them, she's the one in the way. So yeah, Kofi, Happy New Year, man. Let me see. You buy Dangote cement, they sell it and use cheap, low-quality cement. Of course. They're not used to diasporans paying them on time. Nigerians at home do not pay before services are made. Thank you, Veronica. I love that. That's a very good point. Do you know? I love that. You see, because the people are so dubious and greedy, a lot of people that use these artisans back home, they treat them with impunity. That's not who I am. I cannot. The idea of enslaving another man and being malicious and dangling their money like carrot, that's not me. I'm going to have your money. Do my job, do it well. I don't mind giving you extra. That's your money. Bye-bye. Nice to meet you. Right? That's me. If you mess up my job, I'll be like a two-headed dragon. Okay? That's me. But I'm not going to cheat you or try. But you see the ones back home, the locals versus local Nigerians on ground, like that person said, they would never give artisans money, even if it's a mini milestone. They don't give them money in advance. They will milk them. They will let them work. They might even give them a fraction of the money and then delay the rest of the money. And nah. That's why some of these people, instead of them to be grateful and be like, oh, this guy's a good guy. He's paying us. He's quite generous. Sometimes I'll pay for their lunch. It's just, it's nothing. I'll just do that. They don't care. If they find a means to cheat you for this glass cup, oh, they will. It doesn't matter if you're paying their children's school fees. If they get the chance to rob you, they will. What do you do when it is impossible to be on ground? You talk to people like me to manage your project for you. Or any other persons that you can trust or count on in that regard. Or you wait till whenever you can go do it yourself. You give money in advance to white establishment, black establishment, you will regret. The way to do break you, that's crazy, man. I used to run an auto workshop in Lagos, but since I moved to the UK 6 years ago, I haven't received any payment into my account. Just sell it, man. My brother, if I were you, I'd just sell it and take my cut away from it, man, because you know you're not going to see anything. The sad part is that they will fear and respect that person who treats them like crap or refuses to pay them. Michael, you're correct. Absolutely. Money is not too good to pay people for their goods. Phrankleen, I've been wondering where you've been at, my bro. I didn't know that you was on live. I was watching your program on Father Revoke 60 Inheritance because, all right. They see kindness as a flaw. Yes. It's standard practice. You have to adapt your thinking to it. Then you can see. Yeah, I like that. They see kindness as a flaw. Am I saying that we should stop being kind? No. Kindness is brilliant. But kindness combined with foolishness, excessive kindness, the nice guy never wins. I've learned that myself. They will throw your kindness in your face. Do you understand? It's interesting that you say that. So take, for example, if I go somewhere and I'm shopping or I pay for something and my change is like 100 naira and my change is like 200 naira or 50 naira or 150, that kind of amount, I just say, hey, leave it. I just look at the person, I just tip them. No, I can tip, but I stop doing that because then it becomes a habit. Because then you are conditioned that, oh, you've got to leave every amount. It adds up. Do you understand? So if I go out today and I've had 5 different transactions and you keep leaving money, the impression you're leaving about yourself is actually dangerous. It will come back to haunt you. I've found myself in places where they've got my change in their hand, 100 naira. I don't really need the 100 naira like that, But I will wait. Let me have my change. Actually, if I choose to jump on a bike, if I was desperate to get somewhere, that 100 naira can pay for Johnny's with anybody. Do you understand? Give me my change. Sometimes I go out, I don't tip anybody. Don't make it a pattern. It's nice. I'm very selective. I like to help. I like to show love. But you have to be very careful. Because lots of people, they don't really care. They just see you as an opportunity to take what they can. There's not gratitude in them. Trust me, they're cold-hearted. Never offer to fix someone's car, wiper, brakes, or anything if they give you a ride in Nigeria. They think you are Santa Claus. It's the most really. I have learned a lot about people storing families themselves. Whenever I'm ready to do something, I'll go home myself and I'll not make the mistake to set anyone to take over where I start. If your family knows the person who is running your affairs back home, that person can become a target of attack by devious family members. That's a topic for another day. Yep, that's another one. Keep your business away from them. It's a lot of these family members, man. It's narcissism because it's like they just want to keep their claws in you, man. Everything about you, they want to be part of it. They want to control and govern. They can't afford to see you pay a third party for a service. They are burning on the inside. That's your money, though. Do you understand? So, like that person said, man, just make sure, keep your affairs to yourself. Do you understand? If I'm managing, say for example, hypothetically speaking, I'm managing a building project for someone, and some people show up, I'm the younger brother, I'm the sister of this person, blah, 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 blah. Me, I just activate the police straight away. No time. No time. I'll just activate the police straight away. I'll let the police deal with it. No time, man. Some of them, because one of the things that's actually prevalent is they will, if they know who is handling what, the Nigerian way, straight, I'm telling you now, they will come to you, man, and come and discuss connivance so that you can. So basically, they know I'm handling your project and they know how to find me. They will come to me and try to establish, a dodgy partnership, like, bro, push up, your monetary demands, and maybe for every money that you get, give us 200,000 from this, give us 25% of that, and they'll be in the background collecting their cuts. And then when you are talking to them, they pretend like they know nothing. Yep. So, anyways, that's me done. Feel free to send me your stories to footchannel1960@gmail.com. Like I say, please send me any trending topics that you think Phrankleen will be able to react to and all that stuff. Thank you for the super chat. And yeah, just let's keep that conversation going in the comment section below. I will most definitely catch you in the very next one. My name is Phrankleen, and thank you once again for your eyeballs and eardrums. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you in the very next one. Peace and love, man.